Hello, my name is Dr. AJ Scarlato, and this channel is dedicated to giving financial advice to my son, who is 14 years old. If you like these type of things and it's important to you, please feel to share those, give those to others, because that advice may be helpful to them. Like, subscribe, do all the wonderful things in the community. But again, AJ, this is for you. So AJ, number 2 lesson for you from last time, we talked about credit card debt and being mindful of when you get all those credit card applications when you're entering college. For those of you who haven't seen that video, please go back one video and you can certainly see that. Today is to talk about kind of thinking about the end in mind, right? So although you're 14 years old now, I want you to get the bigger picture of what a lot of business and financial professionals talk about, specifically Dave Ramsey. For those of you who don't know Dave Ramsey, he's obviously a financial guru. He's out there, been a big name in the business for a while. If you know Dave Ramsey or you know Susie Orman, those names have been out there for a bit. Susie Orman and Dave have kind of been the big placeholders in that market for a while. But for you, AJ, what I want you to think about is follow the Dave Ramsey 7 baby steps. And how do I know about those? I know about those because a friend of mine sent me a book back in 2008 called The Total Money Makeover. I read that book probably about 2 or 3 months after I got it. It was right around Christmas time. And sadly, I didn't pay attention to all of the advice that it gave, because it tells you how to get out of debt. And I was massively in debt at that time in 2008, well before you were born. And it took me till 2022, so do the math on that, to fully get out of debt. So I didn't really listen to the advice very well. I thought I could do my own order, and I've already since talked to Dave Ramsey and his team on that, and we'll be trying to do a debt-free stream in the future for those Dave Ramsey fans. If you are, give a like and subscribe on that, because I think it's important to share that community. For those of you who do know the Dave Ramsey piece, just a step aside from the advice I'm giving AJ real quick, is I am actually on baby step 7, which is the last baby step at this point. But AJ, back to you. Here's what the baby steps are. There are 7 of them, and I'll read them out, and then we'll kind of walk through them. Number 1 is get $1,000 in your emergency fund. Number 2 is pay off all your debt, smallest to largest, which is what's called the debt snowball. Then after that, it is doing a 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So saving 3 to 6 months of what your monthly expenses are, so you can have those to the side, so that when life hits you with big obstacles, you don't go and try to put it on a credit card, because at that point you would have your credit card paid off. Number 4 is invest 15% on your retirement. You want to save money for your retirement. The sooner you save that, the better, so that your life can go on and it can compound and compound and compound, so that by the time you're ready to retire, you don't have to worry about that. That's step number 4. Step number 5 is, if you have children, start saving for your child's college. And if you have 2, start saving for both of them or 3 of them, or however many children that you might have. The last one that's big, that's the harder ones, are 1 through 6, is to pay off the house. The house is the biggest debt that anybody likely will have, and it takes quite a long time to get to that point. Yes, there are people who believe in having a house or renting a house above or whatever, but at this point, this is kind of the pathway that I want to kind of teach you on. So pay off your house as quickly as you can, because if you have your house paid off, you have all that income that you're making each and every month, and really there's not much to pay once you have that. Yes, there's your electricity bills and your water bills and all that, but once you have that house paid off, it opens up a whole world of financial possibility, which is why we've been able to do what we've been doing now that you're here in your teenage years, and it hopefully will all come back and make sense. And then the last one is step 7, which is the easiest, which is just build wealth. The more wealth that you have, it keeps building and building and compounding and compounding. And then Dave says, obviously, give that wealth away. You can be more charitable, you can give things away, you can continue to build your wealth, and you can kind of, his famous saying is, live one day like no one else, so that another day you can live like no one else. So what it means is work hard like no one else until you can live like no one else, which is, most Americans are in debt. I think it's like 70% of all Americans have debt, and the other 30% do not. So the baby steps are that 1 through 7. So let's talk about them a little bit more. Number 1, $1,000 of emergency fund. That basically is to, even though you may have a credit card debt in the future, which hopefully you do not, that shields you away from having to use that credit card, because if you have $1,000 cash and your car breaks down and you need money, you can put that $1,000, replenish it, and you're good to go. However, that $1,000 is something Dave Ramsey preached back in 2008 and even before, and that ceiling is getting higher. But start with $1,000 and maybe go to $2,000 and $3,000, because you can go to a doctor, vet, you can get a vet bill from your doctor, and it can be over $1,000, and that can just kind of ruin everything for you, right? So get the 1,000, get the 2,000, and get the 3,000. Once you're there, you're pretty comfortable, and then you can move to step 2, which is paying off all your debts, smallest to largest. Why do you pay them off smallest to largest and not largest to smallest? Because let's just say you have a $5,000 debt and a $500 debt. If you pay the 5,000 one off, it's going to feel great eventually, but it's going to take you a lot of time to get there. So the goal here is to pay off the $500 one first, so that you feel the relief, you feel the happiness, and you build momentum. So when you pay off a 500 and then you pay off a 700, you have paid off 2 cards. Maybe you have 3 or 4 cards, and now you are seeing that momentum, you're seeing the light, you're seeing the progress done. However, if you wait all the way till the 5,000, it may take you forever, and then you give up halfway through. That's not the goal. A lot of things in finance are not really financial in nature or numbers based. They're really emotional, right? Like looking at yourself in the mirror, like, what am I doing? Why am I spending like this? So that's number 2, pay them off, smallest to largest debt snowball. Number 3, get 3 to 6 months of emergency funds, okay? What that means is, let's just say your monthly expenses for 3 months, let's just say it's $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month. That means that you save $3,000 for 1 month, and then you save another $3,000 for another month, so that eventually you have 3 months of that buffer, so that is, even then when you have issues and something drastically happens, you don't have to go back into credit card debt. You have the extra money. Once you get the 3 months, move to the 6 months, and after you have that 6 months, you can really feel that sense of freedom. And all this time, you're still probably paying on a house and all these things. These are, again, very basic, and we're going through them very quickly. There's a whole new scenario that we can walk through to talk about the details of those. So step 3, 3 to 6 months of your expenses, put those aside. You have no credit card debt at that point. You have all this extra buffer to help you, and you can keep moving on. Then you can invest. You should always be investing in your retirement. If you're working at a corporate job or some sort of job that'll give you a match to your investment, go ahead and do that contribution up to the max, which is normally like 2% or 3%. So if you get 3%, they may match at 3% or something of that nature. But when you get to step 4, you want to bump up that investment and invest up to 15%. If you feel like you can go a little bit higher, that's great, but 15% is kind of the good neutral rule. So invest 15%, because the more you put in now, that compound interest as you get older and older and older will help you. And so at this age, based on your age of 14, and when you get up to retirement age, which based on the government pieces of the United States, you would be retiring around age 67. You'll have all that ready for you to be able to retire and actually give back wealth as it goes through the family and the generations. Number 5, save for college. So if you have 1 child or 2 children, 3 children, start saving for them and use things like the the prepaid college programs, the 529 plans, whatever it may, just save for college to help them set them on the right trajectory. If they don't use the funds and they don't go to college, that's fine, but at least you've started to establish a piece for them. So save for college, and that can be helpful for them. Number 6 is pay off your home. That's probably the biggest baby step. It's the hardest baby step to do. It's extremely high, and it's going to take a lot of time to get there. But if you pay off that house, mountains are moved. And so when I mentioned to you all here that I was on baby step 7, my house is paid off. I paid that off in 2022. I finished everything, was completely debt-free, house debt-free, and it has changed everything. It allows me to work at places that I want to work rather than I must work at. It allows me to have passion. It allows me to go and have vacations, because once you're not spending $1,500, $1,800, $2,500 a month or more on your home, it allows you to have lots of freedom. Because when you think about it, your biggest money-making tool, as Dave Ramsey says, is your income. And when all of your income is going to the house, then it is disappearing overnight. All your money's spent before you have it. But if you don't have a house payment and you just have electric bill and a water bill and a food bill, that's not that much, and it adds up when you have all that extra freedom, and you can keep socking money away or save for a vacation or save for a car or whatever the case may be. So paying off that house is the holy grail, the ultimate piece. 1 through 6 are the hardest baby steps, and number 7 is the easy and fun one, which is building wealth and giving it away, right? When you have enough wealth, it feels so much better to give away. At this point, we've been able to do more charitable things than we've done before. We've been able to save more. We've been able to travel, go to different countries, and it's been remarkable. So 7 baby steps. I just wanted you to be aware of those. Lesson 2 for today. AJ, keep these in mind, even though you're very young at this point listening to this. That's the goal to have. So as you start to hear those barriers and things, as you kind of progress into your high school years and your college years, think about that. See what's important and kind of revisit these videos as they go on. Thank you for listening. For all of those, again, if you like this, my name is Dr. AJ Scarlato. feel free to look at video 1, which is the Genesis journey of why this is here. And again, AJ, I hope that you are able to watch this in the future. And take care, man.